Hello everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Cookies, and Books. I'm Judy, and today we're going to do the second half of my three-part book haul. This one, we're covering thrillers, mysteries, crime, all kinds of wonderful stuff like that. So if you're interested in sticking around, I'll see you on the other side. So wonderful to see you again, new and returning. So my last video, I covered some books that I have purchased that were in sort of random categories. I will link that video below. I had meant to do this one a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, I was sick with a cold, still feeling it a little bit. My voice is a tiny bit off and still stuffed up a tiny bit, but medication is definitely helping. But I wanted to get these done because we're coming to the end of March and I want to get into finishing off what I've read for March and also my TBR for April. So those will come after these next two videos. So this first one, as I mentioned in the opening, we're going to cover all of the books that I've gotten over the last 3 months that would fit in the thriller, mystery, crime category. And that includes cozy mysteries. I think we've got a few of those. And I've got some where I'm finishing off sets, which I will explain that too. So without further ado, I guess we'll get going because this is probably going to take a little while. I think there's about 30 books here. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Okay, so we're going to start with, so I have 2 books that I purchased from M.W. Craven for thrillers. I believe these are thrillers. And one is Fearless and the other one is The Puppet Show. Now, I can't recall which one is the first one written. I think Puppet Show. Fearless was book outlet. Puppet Show, I got it on Amazon. So the reason I picked these up is, first of all, I love thrillers. That's, one of my favorite genres. One of the YouTubers that I watch, which is Tyrone from Bookish Dad, I think. I will leave a link to his YouTube below because I do follow him quite a bit. And he did a video talking about thriller authors that are not mentioned very often. There are a lot of them, including the next one that I'm going to mention, that come up quite a bit. And there are some that don't. And M.W. Craven, not mentioned a lot, but when I read the premise for both of these books, I thought they both sounded fantastic, and I was willing to give them a try. And this one I got, of course, for a really good deal on Book Outlet. So I thought I would try M.W. Craven. Now, this first one, it says, serial killer is burning people alive in the Lake District's prehistoric stone circles. He leaves no clues, and the police are helpless. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, now this one is U.S., so I guess this one is U.S., but he's an English crime writer, so he's from the U.K. I think that was one of the reasons why I thought I'd pick it up, because, a UK author, but I thought they were based in the UK, but I guess I was wrong about that. But anyways, so we'll give these 2 a try and see if I like them. And if I really like them, then I'll buy more. Now, the one thing that Tyrone did mention is that you don't necessarily buy them in order. So I think this is an older one. One's an older one and one's a newer one. But you don't have to buy them in the order that they were written, which appeals to me because if I can get them on Book Outlet and I haven't read them before, then I'll just buy whatever's available there. Okay, so the next one, this one was a pre-order for me. I was really waiting for this one, which is This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I've never read any of hers. This book has been mentioned by Audrey at Chapter and Converse for quite some time, and I had put it on pre-order, and it just literally, I got it this week. So super excited to get this. This is loosely based on the Idaho 4 murders, which I think the discovery and everything is going on right now for the trial. And his trial is going to be, Koberger's trial is going to be in August. Anyways, this book is kind of based on that whole premise, which I thought sounded fantastic. And so I bought this, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Okay, and then another one that, now this, I had seen this one available on Book of the Month. I think it was Book of the Month. And I know it's been mentioned by the people who I follow who read crime and thriller. But I hadn't picked it up, not really sure why. And then it came available on Book Outlet. And, it was during one of their sales. So I thought, well, what the heck? I will pick it up. Now, typically, I don't pick up things that delve into child abuse and issues with children and that sort of thing. Not something that interests me. But I believe this is a mother-daughter, and the daughter's older, if I'm not mistaken. So I do hope that that is the case. I mean, I'm sure it delves into some of her memories, I'm guessing, on her mom and how her mom treated her. I think what happens is Flora is the daughter. She has a daughter, and she's just navigating the newborn stage alone. And then all of a sudden, her mother shows up. And that's where the creepy part starts. So I think that sounds really interesting. And so I thought, well, I'll pick it up. Not a super long book. Put it on my TBR at some point. It'll go into my general jar, and it'll get picked. Somewhere along the line, it'll get picked. Okay, the other one that I picked up is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. Kluwer, I think it is. This, I think, is the story about these people that buy a house, and then all of a sudden this other family shows up their door and says, we used to live here. Can we come in and take a look around? Which I think is weird. Okay, like if somebody came to my door and said that to me, I would say, oh, hell no. Oh, no. You ain't getting in my house. Okay, I don't know you from a hole in the ground. Bye-bye. So I find it fascinating that they would let them in the house in the first place. Like, yeah, just bizarre. Anyway, but just the idea of that and what might transpire from something like that really interested me. So I thought, well, I'll grab that one. So add that one to the list. And then this other one is the close-up, Sometimes Dreams Become Nightmares by Pip Drysdale. And now I picked this one up again on the basis of not review, but when what's her name, Audrey from Chapter and Converse talked about it, and talked about it in relation to an episode of the Bones series. And it was an episode because if you've ever watched Bones, Temperance Brennan is an author, and I mean, she's a forensic investigator, anthropologist, but she's also an author, and she writes crime thrillers. In one of the episodes, which I think might have been in the first season, there are murders that take place that are exactly how they occurred in her book. And this is supposed to be the same. And I was like, okay, that sounds like something I totally want to read. 100%. Because I found that whole premise fascinating. I love that story. And then when I read the synopsis on this one, I was like, yeah, definitely up my alley. So I picked up this one. Now, this one, The Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder by C.L. Miller. Now, I'm going to be frank with you. I don't recall the synopsis on this one. I did get it off of Book Outlet. And a lot of times what I do is, of course, I'll go and I'll read the synopsis. If the synopsis interests me and it's on sale, I will buy it, because to me, not just the popular books are worth reading. There are a lot of other books that are, just as worthwhile. So I thought that I would read this. It says, in this irresistible and thrilling debut novel, a former antique hunter investigates a suspicious death at an isolated English manor, embroiling her back in the dangerous world of tracking stolen artifacts. So I don't know if it sounds like a little bit of Indiana Jones in the female form, maybe. Who knows? But I thought it sounded really interesting. And of course, with the murder involved and everything along those lines, thought it'd be a great one to add for the price. You can't be beat, right? Okay. Then another one that I got off Book Outlet again is Richard Osman's The Bullet That Missed. It's part of the Thursday Murder Club. It's a Thursday Murder Club mystery. Now, I don't know if I have another one. I think this might be the first one I've bought off this, but I do know that it's a series of books, so I probably will look and see if I have to read the earlier ones. I don't know if I do or not. For some reason, I thought I had one or two of these, which I might already. But anyways, I loved the premise of the story, and yeah, so I thought I would pick up this one and take a look at the whole series and see if I like it or not. Hopefully I don't have to read the whole thing and I can just pick it up from here. We'll see how that goes. Another one. So this is probably one of the few books that I've gotten off Book Outlet that has been damaged. It's dented here in the cover, like it's actually pushed in, which is kind of unfortunate. And I do find that these covers that are like a matte finish, that are the wraps, particularly the wraparound covers for Book Outlet, always come in dirty. So I'm assuming that that's probably why they went to Book Outlet in the first place, is because they were damaged. And it could be that this damage wasn't even done by Book Outlet. It could have been done by whichever store it was originally sold in. But anyways, I got this one, which is by Deanna Rayborn, Killers of a Certain Age. It's Kill or Be Killed, but they've been at this a long time. So I'm not even, oh yeah, it's an older woman. Older women often feel invisible, but sometimes that's their secret weapon. Billy, Mary Alice, Helen, and Natalie have worked for the museum, an elite network of assassins, for 40 years. That's all I needed to read. And I thought, this is going to be great. And I'm 64. I completely relate. I'm going to read that one. Sounds really good. And then I got this one, Ruth Ware, One Perfect Couple. Just another, I think I have several of Ruth Ware's. Haven't read any of them yet. I think I've got two or three of hers, all gotten them off Book Outlet at one time or another. And I thought the premise of this one also sounded good. It harkens to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. This high-tension thriller follows 5 couples trapped on a storm-swept island as a killer stalks among them. Sounds great. Looking forward to reading it. Okay, so that's the first batch. Then we'll get on to, let me do this batch next. So what I managed to get, so I don't know if anybody watching this channel has ever seen the Longmire TV series. So it was a TV series of a small town sheriff in Absaroka County, Wyoming. I think it was Wyoming. And it followed him through, I think it was a 5-season. The first 2 seasons, I think, were on Showtime, and then it was picked up by Netflix, and there were 3 more seasons. They were smaller seasons, of course, because the first 2 were much bigger. And it wasn't quite as good as the first few seasons, but it was, I did really enjoy the show. And so these books here are the original books about Walt Longmire, and they're written by Craig Johnson. So I had read a couple of these on Kobo, and I really liked them, and I saw a bunch of them on Book Outlet, and I thought, well, you know what? Perfect time to start collecting them and finish reading them. The story in the book, now Craig was did consult on the show, and there were fair enough similarities, especially in the first 2 years, to some of the books that he wrote. But there were some differences. Like there was a difference on how his wife died from the show to the books. There was a difference on, I think, the age of his daughter, because in the books she is still in university to be a lawyer, and on in the TV show she's already a practicing lawyer. So a little bit different. And, you know, but for the most part, I think the main parts are in the book that were in the TV show, which is Walt, him, his personality, who he is, very much the same. Henry, his best friend, who is Native Indian. And there is actually quite a lot of dealings with the, he deals a lot with the, I think it's, what is it? This is, I'm trying to remember the name, what type of Indian tribe it is that is there. Yeah, Henry Standing Bear is his best friend, but I cannot remember. Cheyenne. So it's the Cheyenne Reservation. Cheyenne Indians. Okay, so that's the reservation. So he deals a lot with the reservation police, and Walt is kind of like, he doesn't like computers, cell phones. He's a Luddite. He doesn't want to deal with it. And his assistant Ruby at the station, she's fantastic, and the other lieutenants that work with him are really great too. So I'm looking forward to reading these. They're really short. Each book is very short. I would say, you know, a couple hundred pages in each book, you know, 200 to 250 pages. So all in all, I can't wait to kind of get started and dig into the series. I did start at book 1. One of these books is book 1. I think I read 2 or 3 on Kobo, but I have 5 here, and they are in order. At some point, there's 1 to 5. So I will read them in order. And I think there's over 20 that he's written in the series. So anybody who's looking for a small-time sheriff, crime, they're all crime-based. He has to deal with political shenanigans between the people in the town, you know, that he's elected in, because he is an elected sheriff, and then dealing with the reservation police, because there's a certain amount of political balance you have to use there as a police, you know, and not the tribal police, which is difficult as well. So, yeah, a lot of stuff that goes on there. So really, really great series. I would recommend it. Based on the first couple of books I read, it was really fabulous. Okay, so then the next one is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Now, this one, I've seen it advertised in multiple places. Let me see, what does it say back here? My name is Lucy Chase, but you already know that. Yes, I'm the woman who doesn't remember murdering her best friend. You probably think I did it too. I get it. Being found covered in her blood doesn't exactly scream innocent. I'm as frustrated as you are. I'd love to know if I'm a murderer. It's something you really should know about yourself. Anyway, so This is like, and now thanks to a true crime podcast, Listen for a Lie, I could finally have an answer. I mean, that's pretty scary to think that you would kill your best friend, but then maybe she didn't. I loved the sound of it. I thought it sounded fantastic. So we give this one a try. All right. So now I'm just going to pull a couple of, I guess what you would call cozy mysteries. Now, one of them is Deserts, Driving, and Derelicts by Tanya Kappas. This is the second book. I read the first one on, I think, Kindle. I got it for free from BookBub. And, just quick little book. And I did review it in I think it was my February review, because I think I read it in February. It was either January or February that I read it, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it, and I really wanted to continue on with Mae West and all of her friends at the trailer park. It's a RV lifestyle campground in Normal, Kentucky, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, there were murders in the first one, so I'm assuming there's going to be a murder in this one too, and super enjoyable, and I would recommend it, highly recommend it. It was just like really, really a lot of fun, and actually really great characters too, which I think, is super important, even in a really short book. And the first one was really short as well, but the character development was good, and the humor was good. Just everything about it flowed really well. So I'm looking forward to giving the second book a try. And then this one was referred by, there is a YouTube channel that I watch, and she does a lot of cozy mystery recommendations. For the life of me, I cannot remember her name, but I do watch her off and on from time to time, because I do like cozy mysteries. I think they're super easy to read, and kind of like, they say Netflix and chill. Well, it's like cozy mystery and chill. And that's sort of how it is to me, and I enjoy it very much for that reason. So this was one of the ones that was recommended, Murder of a Mail Order Bride. And this is the first one in the series, and it was actually on Book Outlet. So I grabbed it, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's give it a try and see if I like it. My way of looking at it is, if I don't like it and I got it on Book Outlet, then I will, put it, especially something like this, tiny like this, I'll put it in a little free library. Somebody will enjoy it. So anyway, grab that one. Okay, and then I grabbed Murder Your Employer, McMaster's Guide to Homicide. I picked this up. This is by Rupert Holmes, and I'm just reading this, and it says, I think that this is a university for how to kill somebody. I think. I'm trying to remember what the synopsis was about, and to me, I think that's what it's about. I think it's a school. It says, who hasn't wondered what the world would be like if a person who is the object of your affliction ceased to exist? At the McMaster Conservatory, future deletists, never murderers, learn to consummate execution of the homicidal arts. I knew that was what it was. So it's a university for deletists. And I thought, I have to read that. There's even, I think, course descriptions and all kinds of things in that. And I thought, sounds like a hoot. So we'll give that one a try. I mean, couldn't hurt to try it, right? No. Okay. So then I got A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. And this one, I believe, is one of her horror novels. It's a haunting Southern Gothic from an award-winning master of suspense. A House with Good Bones explores the dark, twisted roots lurking just beneath the veneer of a perfect home and family. And I thought that sounded really, really super creepy. So definitely going to give this one a try. Yeah. Okay, next one is The Queen of Poisons by Robert Thurgood. This is part of the Harlow Murder Club. The Harlow Murder Club is on the hunt for a killer. Jeffrey Lushington, mayor of Marlow, dies suddenly during a town council meeting. When traces of aconite, also known as the Queen of Poisons, is found in his coffee cup, the police realize he was murdered, but who did it and why? The police bring Judith, Susie, and Bex in to investigate the murder as civil advisors right from the start. So I think that this is the third one in the series, and I did pick it up because it was on Book Outlet, but I do want to get the first two, which is the Marlow Murder Club and Death Comes to Marlow. So those are the other two, because I think I'm pretty sure this is number 3. And in this particular case, you got to pretty much have to read them in order, I think. But I don't know if you have to 100% because each one is a separate case. But it doesn't hurt to read them in order. But anyway, okay, so that one. And then the next one that I picked up is The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. Picture a lovely cottage on a cliff with a sloping lawn, walking paths, and beautiful flowers. It's Gabe and Pippa Gerard's dream home in a sleepy coastal town, but their perfect house hides something sinister. So, need I say more? Obviously, it's a thriller. Yeah. It sounds to me like somebody dives off the cliff from where they live, and her husband knew the person. We get a little bit of maybe the cheating vibe in there or something along those lines, but we shall see. Sounds like a good thriller to me. Okay. Then I picked up Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. Now, I have seen the movie that this, now it's been quite some time since I saw the movie, but I know, it deals with the Catholic Church and the Vatican and underground organization, the Illuminati, and a hunt for sealed crypts, catacombs, deserted cathedrals, all those sorts of things. I remember I loved the movie, thoroughly enjoyed it, but I really think that I would enjoy the depth of what would be in the book a bit more. So that was why I picked it up. And now I have not read The Da Vinci Code. I think I've seen that movie like a half dozen times because I loved that movie so much. So I do want to get The Da Vinci Code and read that as well. And I probably will at some point. I'll probably just go to my secondhand bookstore, see if I can get it there. But I thought, well, Book Outlet had this. So it was calling my name. Picked it up to give a read through that one. Then I did pick up 2 books from S.A. Cosby. One is Razor-Blade Tears, and the other one is All the Sinners Bleed. Now, I've been wanting to read for quite some time these books, but particularly this one. Rachel from Reads with Rachel. And this was I think, one of her best from 2024. She absolutely loved this book, and I loved the sound of it. So it's a black sheriff, a serial killer, a small town ready to combust. So I loved the sound of that. This one is Black Father, a White Father, 2 Dead Sons, a quest for revenge and redemption. So I loved the sound of both of these, and I've never read anything from S.A. Cosby before, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to read them, being that I got them for such a great price. So that's that. Then I picked up, again, off Book Outlet, How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I have never read a single book by Grady Hendrix before. And this one actually appealed to me just based on the synopsis and based on some of the reviews that I've seen about the book from, different YouTubers that I follow. I mean, some liked it, some were very middle of the road with it, but it was just the way they described it. I was like, you know what? That really, really interested me. Like, he has one that just came out, which I think it came out in January. Can't remember the title of it, but the premise of it did not interest me in the least. It has to do with a house witchcraft for young girls or something along those lines. And just it didn't interest me in the least. But I did like the sound of this one, so I thought I would give this one a try. Okay. And then another one that is another cozy mystery, Homicide at the Haunted House by Beth Dahlner. Again, was recommended by that gal that does the cozy mysteries that I got this one referred. And this was another referral by her. And I thought I picked it up as soon as I saw it. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll give it a try. This is a self-published author. So always love to support self-published authors because they don't get as much support as, we would like to see, me included, as a self-published author. So pick this one up. We'll give it a try. It's another really short book. It's only like 200 pages. So we'll definitely read that one. And then I picked up Megan Miranda, The Only Survivors. And, another Book Outlet one. And it says, a decade ago, 2 vans filled with high school seniors on a school service trip crashed into a Tennessee ravine. Only 9 survived. A year later, after one of the survivors dies by suicide on the anniversary of the crash, the rest of them make a pact to come together each year to commemorate that terrible night. By the 10th anniversary, Cassidy Bent has distanced herself from the tragedy. This year, she's determined to finally break ties with the group once and for all. But when Cassidy receives an anonymous text from the obituary of another survivor, she finds herself going to the reunion once more. So certainly sounds like it's could be interesting, another thrillers, and she's written many books. I do think I have another one from her, but I can't remember the title off by hand, but have not read anything from her yet. So pick that one up. Okay. Then this one is Kiss Cut by Karen Slaughter. So this is the second book in the, what was the series again? I read the first one. The first one was Blindsided. And this is the next one in the series. And they had it, they have like the skinny, thicker, they're really, really difficult to read because it's a pretty thick book. And this format they have, I got through Blackwell's. So in the UK, they have the wider and easier on floppy format, which is kind of surprising, but I do like it. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the second one in the book because I loved the first one. So we will see how that. And then another one that I had not heard of until I saw somebody review it. It's called None Shall Sleep. There Are No Monsters, Only People. And this is 1982, Quantico, Virginia. 2 teenagers, serial killer survivor Emma Lewis and U.S. Marshal candidate Travis Bell are recruited by the FBI to interview convicted juvenile killers and provide insight in cold cases. It just sounded really, really creepy to me. So, And I love anything that has like serial killer profiling, anything along those lines. And I'm right there. So I thought, oh, another good one to try. And then this was one that I had on pre-order. So when it came out, First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. Never read anything from her. And this is Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So, sounds to me like identity fraud, and yeah, definitely interesting. So that one. And then lastly is, so I have the other 3 Finley Donovan books. Now, Knock 'em Dead, I think, is the 3rd one, because I think I had 1 and 2 and 4. This is the 3rd one. And this one is brand new. It just came out. So I now have all 5. We'll be getting and digging into those very soon. Probably not in April, because April's kind of a thrown together TBR with a lot of stuff that I didn't finish in March from the REALMATHON, and just making sure that my challenges are met. So come May, I think I'm going to throw in Finley Donovan so I can get some of that read, at least the first book, and get myself started. And then I can do 1 book a month. So that's going to be kind of a personal challenge to me, is to finish up that one, along with some of my 25 must-reads in 2025. So that is it for what I have for thrillers, crime novels, and horror stories, that kind of thing. So I will be getting this up as soon as I can for you. And then coming up next, I'm going to have the fantasy genre, which is fantasy, romantasy, maybe a little bit of sci-fi fantasy. That's probably my biggest selection of books. So I can't wait for you to see what I've bought and what I'm adding to my library. And then we'll talk a little bit more about where I go forward from here, because my personal library is pretty much full. And there's not a lot of rooms for more books. But we'll get through these last bit, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you in the next video.